Hey, good morning. Thanks for having me, McGraw.
So the $64,000 question, where are we with Bill Cosby? Is he going to take the stand? What are you hearing?
No, I think that the same still holds true of what he said a few weeks before the start of the trial, that he does not plan to testify. You know, what his PR person said that was a bit misconstrued was that he said he was not at liberty to say if he would testify. And so I think that people took that if to mean that maybe there's a possibility. But, excuse me, big day for the defense today, as it begins to lay out its defense of Bill Cosby, but it's still not clear just yet who the defense is going to call to the witness stand.
All right, back up a second because so many people are paying attention to this James Comey, Donald Trump stuff. The prosecution rested their case, is that correct?
Yeah, prosecution rested its case on Friday after calling 12 witnesses, including, of course, Andrea Constand, who's at the heart of this case. Cosby has pleaded not guilty to drugging and sexually assaulting the former Temple University employee. And it's possible that closing arguments could begin as early as today. And one local defense attorney said of Cosby's lawyer, Brian McMonagle, he's the best closer I've ever seen. Quote, this is Sinatra at Madison Square Garden in 74. And he actually did give a very compelling opening statement. And so that'll be interesting. But again, like I said, prosecution had 12 witnesses. The defense, though we don't know who their witnesses are, we're told that they don't have many, if any, which was an interesting caveat, but I can't imagine that they're going to put on a defense without having any witnesses testify. And in another big headline that ABC News has learned that Camille Cosby, Bill Cosby's wife of 53 years, plans on escorting him into court today. And so I think that that'll certainly have some kind of impression on the jury to look over and see Camille Cosby supporting her husband, standing by her man.
Yeah. So last time we had you on, you said that the defense scored some points when they took to task some of the prosecution's witnesses in terms of timelines and things like that.
Yeah, they did a really good job at getting the first accuser. So there were two who testified in this trial, of course, Andrea Constand, and then another, Kelly Johnson, who was kind of intended by the prosecution to kind of bolster the credibility of Andrea Constand. But interestingly, that first accuser, Kelly Johnson, ended up impeaching herself. I mean, she got caught in lie after lie on the stand, and there was a 6-year discrepancy in when she said that her sexual assault occurred. I don't think that the prosecution was as effective in doing the same with Andrea Constand. I mean, there were some inconsistencies in what she had initially told police in her initial report back in 2005, but she really held her own on the witness stand. And her mother, who testified after her, who was just a pistol on the witness stand, she really bolstered her case.
Lindsay, talk about, you mentioned his wife is going to help him walk into the courtroom. It seems like the man is as feeble as can be. Is it an act, or is he in that much failing health?
I don't think that it's an act. I think that it's an appearance that he's feeble only because he's legally blind. And so if you're walking in and out of an area that you're unfamiliar with, where there are steps, where there are a lot of people and cameras around, I think that you really rely heavily on the people around you to guide you and support you. But physically, he seems like he's actually in really great shape. It's just the eyesight that I think gives the perception that he's ailing.
And how long before closing arguments do you think?
I think that they could happen as early as today. Maybe tomorrow is more likely, but if the defense really only has one or two witnesses, we saw several days last week where they'd have, maybe 4 witnesses in a day. And so, we could look for that, I think, today or tomorrow. And
then the jury gets it, and the jury is sequestered, right?
Yes, they're sequestered and from Pittsburgh, so I'm sure that they're very anxious to get back home. They're 300 miles away from their families and obviously missing out on their jobs and all of that, although I don't know if they're complaining about that. But and also their Penguins are doing
I was going to say, they missed the Stanley Cup championship game. So
Right. Well, they were probably able to watch that on TV as while they're being sequestered. Just nothing to do with Cosby.
Lindsay Davis, ABC News correspondent following the Bill Cosby trial. Thanks, Lindsay. We'll check in as news warrants. Thanks for checking in.
All right, thank you.
You got it. Bill Cosby, one of the giants, the absolute giants in the comedic world. He's on the Mount Rushmore. We'll wait and see what happens there. Next hour, Sunil Menzies joins.